Welcome to the Virtual Cheese Awards 2021, showcasing the best of British cheese. My name's Louisa and I will be looking after today's session. I would like to introduce the two cheese judges to you today. With me, I've got Tanny and Drew, and the cheese that we will be judging today, the class is the traditional mature cheddar. Would you both like just to say a few words about yourselves?
Yep, sure. I'm Drew Baker. I am a charcuterie producer and former chef, and I have been a lifelong lover of cheese. I've been lucky enough to judge various cheese awards, various food awards, and hopefully pulling together from all of that experience. And this is my first outing of the Virtual Cheese Awards, which I'm very much looking forward to.
Excellent, thank you. And Tanny?
Hi, I'm Tanny Gill. Spent the last 17 years in the British cheese industry, working with cheese only. I have done various World Cheese Awards judging. This is my second year with the Virtual Cheese Awards, and probably the only representative up here from Scotland. So looking forward to judging all the categories today.
Excellent, thank you. So today the judges will be using a point system for scoring each of the cheeses, and this will be done against 5 different attributes, which is appearance, aroma, texture, true to character, and flavour. So we'll go through these and then we'll score for each one out of 10, and then whichever wins will then go through to the best of category stage, which will be held next Friday, the 7th of May. Okay then, would you like to begin?
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is entry number A31081.
Correct, yes.
Beautiful. Look at the rind.
Gorgeous, yeah.
Absolutely stunning. Very nice. Appearance-wise, looks spot on. Looks very good. Looks the rind itself talks a lot about the maturity of the cheese itself.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. You can see the if you look at the cheese itself, you can see the aging where it is kind of dried on the outside, but then as it gets creamy on the inside. So it's quite kind of really nice.
And you've got those wonderful crystals, Tanny, which I always associate with, which is a kind of, for me, an indicator of the age, but also that texturally I'm already excited, and that's just from the appearance.
Absolutely, yeah. No, crystals is a big telltale sign for age on the cheese.
I'd say it's very delicate, the aroma. It doesn't give away a huge amount.
Yes, the aroma is very delicate, but the taste is quite nice, quite balanced.
I mean, for me, the taste, the aroma or the lack thereof is almost a bit misleading, but it's got this wonderful balance, and I'm getting more kind of savoury notes, almost.
Yes.
Not quite as far as kind of nori seaweed, but to me, I'm getting those more savoury notes. But flavour-wise, for me, and you said it, Tanny, the word is balance. It's got that wonderful small spike of acidity, but there's savouriness, there's nuttiness. I mean, I think I adore that.
Yeah, I think it's lovely. I think it's also got a lovely buttery finish on the whole palate, which makes it kind of quite comforting to enjoy it. You want to eat more. Really nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's actually got a really almost meaty quality, like a really savoury backbone, but it does have that, not quite as far as fruity, but there is a sweetness that I think that reigns in that savouriness. Seasoning-wise, spot on. I mean, I think, again, balance for me is key, right? When we're looking at cheese like this, and
really good.
I think it's excellent.
It's excellent. Yeah, the rind looks lovely. A lot of you can see the age in it. Texture is good. Aroma is delicate, or rather on the lighter side, but texture is great. It is very buttery. It is crumbly, but still quite buttery and creamy, so it kind of balances itself out. I think we appearance, aroma, texture, appearance and texture probably score happy to score. What are we scoring on, Louisa? 5, 10?
10, I think.
10.
10. Appearance, I don't know. What do you think, Drew?
Well, I can't think. When I generally start at 10 and work backwards if I can spot any faults. But I can't, visually.
10.
It's gorgeous. The rind. It's just a gorgeous looking piece of cheese. So I can't find any flaw with it in terms of its appearance.
Yeah.
Aroma. So I'm in agreement. 10. Aroma. I don't think. The fact that it's delicate and gentle and subtle, I don't think is a negative.
Wrong.
I mean,
absolutely.
There's no flaws per se, so I can't see any reason to detract points on the aroma.
Yeah, happy with that. Go ahead. 10. Texture.
I think the texture is sensational. The fact that they have managed to get it from being quite crumbly, yet with that incredible buttery, creamy feel, and you've got that crystalline crunch through it. Again, which isn't. Sometimes you can get these huge crystals, which I find quite distracting almost. But I think I can't fault it.
No, sounds good. I'm happy with that too. So texture, aroma, appearance, taste is lovely too. I think taste is quite nice and well balanced.
Overall character. I mean, what is there anything else that a mature cheddar could or should deliver? And for me,
so what the only thing is when you're looking at it, the mature cheddar. When you say it tends to be a bit more dry, a bit more crumbly, the butteriness is taken out. But this has got that lovely character, which is the fabric of itself, like the buttery creaminess is there. So I'm happy with, start off with 10, 10, 10, and if we need to come back and take something off, we can.
Okay, I'm happy with that. Louisa?
Okay.
Yep, so that's full marks all around there. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next piece we'll move on to is A31102.
Okay. 1102. Oh, lovely. You can smell when you open it, the grassiness coming through.
Exactly that.
Yeah. Again, beautiful. Nice, a lovely presentation, beautiful wine, very different to the one that we saw before.
Yeah.
Very kind of clean and, you can see the coloration of age on it, very nice.
Completely different piece, isn't it?
Completely different. The aroma is very different to what it was before. Again, the aroma is very gentle on this as we opened it, but lovely. This has got a slightly more body texture, very crumbly. You can see it just kind of snaps itself almost.
But it does come back together. It does still have that
lovely,
abundance of creaminess.
Grassy notes to it. Not as savory as the previous one, but really nice. Fantastic.
I would say, when the other one was savory and kind of meaty, this is closer to the kind of more vegetal, and as you said, kind of green grass. And it's
grassy,
light. It's light's the wrong word. It's delicate, but beautifully balanced again.
Beautiful. I think also the texture is very complementing. It's not leaving it too heavy on the palate. It's quite nice and quite clean.
Yeah, beautiful.
Tough one. Do we score the same and then review the top?
I'd say so.
I'll tell you the top one at the end.
Okay. So we score the same 10, 10, 10 for all the 5 categories. I'll keep it on the side because
I have to come back to them too.
Yeah.
Wonderful. The
next one is A3118.
That's correct, yes.
that one kind of almost needs a minute to settle down. As soon as you open it, you get this almost kind of fermented fruit note coming off it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been in vac pack, so
it has
I think
been.
you'll allow it a few seconds just for that to dissipate. But it's already changed.
Absolutely. And also, if you look at the rind, it's quite interesting. I mean, I used to be a cheddar cheese. Oh, you've got the bottom bit. Okay, you can see it.
And
I used to be so I used to be a cheddar cheese maker for over 5 years on the Isle of Mull, and it's interesting that you can see the white bits, the dry bits, and the wet bits on the rind.
Yeah.
Which basically is sometimes it's when it is matured in the cloth, they put heavily larded. So it's got a lot of, imagine putting Vaseline or moisturizing cream on your own skin. So it kind of gives that little wetness to the rind. So it's quite interesting to see that compared to the other two. Also depends where it has been matured. It's probably in a very moist place. It feels very buttery and creamy even before tasting it, but yeah, a lot going on for the flavor, for the cheddar there.
Mm-hmm.
Almost kind of citrusy notes coming through, which generally, personally, I'm not a big fan of in cheddar.
It's quite sharp, isn't it? There's a sharpness to it, which is kind of the side of your tongue and down your palate, which you'd almost get with, as you said, acidity. But there's a sharpness, but I'm still getting that slightly fermented fruit flavor, which
the aftertaste is lingering. Yeah.
There's also a bit of mid-palate bitterness, which is creeping in right at the end.
Correct. And that could happen sometimes using a vegetarian rennet. It happens, so that bitterness comes through, which is not a fault. It's just the character of the cheese itself. Yeah. So, but otherwise, appearance-wise, looks good to me. I'll probably give an 8. I think your rind has a bit more telling than my rind, but I don't know what you think of it.
I agree with you on that one, Tony. There's some cracks forming in the rind. So I think 8.
Yeah,
8. More than happy with that.
Yeah, aroma. I think the as you say, the citrus or that acidity is there in the aroma. Also, you do feel it's going to be acidic before tasting it, which kind of complements. But I'm happy to go an 8 across for all, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
Okay, so the next one is a 31119.
31119. Bear with me. Trying not to be too greedy and eat all the crumbs.
I'm trying not to be greedy, but the problem is when you go from tasting to eating, it's generally a good sign. So the first two, I'm glad we put those away because I would have thrown those away in their entirety.
My wife said, what are the best cheeses can you highlight on the list so that she can get a bottle of wine for the evening? And
which is exactly what my wife was just saying. She just walked past and pointed, saying, which ones? So.
Okay, this one again, I think I know the cheese. Looks lovely. Great,
right? One thing, Annie, I wanted to ask you from your cheese expertise is, the texture does change notably under vacuum, doesn't it? Because you're compressing that cheese to an extent that's more than it would have been compressed naturally through maturity, would you say, or not?
No, actually not, because what happens is when these are matured and they're pressed and left in the caves for a year and a half, it's already formed its shape, a bit like a salami or a Swaziso.
Oh no, I mean the individual wedge when it's then taken out and then vacuum packed.
No, these don't. These are cut this way, and it just holds itself. It's the ones which are reformed in this. These will change shape. So if you cut this up and put it in a bag and vacuum it again, you can make it long. You can make it into a wedge, but because these are put through a mill, whereas these are by itself in the natural form.
Yeah. Okay.
Lovely. So even just by cutting it, you can see it's quite kind of creamy and buttery. You can see a bit of crystals in there. I don't know if the camera can catch it, but you can see bits of crystals there.
Yeah. Again, I'm getting a slight hint of that bitterness as an aftertaste.
There is, yeah. It's
Maybe
almost
not.
kind of, it starts off fruity, but doesn't really finish fruity. It just gets lost.
It sort of stops a bit short, doesn't it? It kind of, you get the fruitiness, there's a bit of acidity, there's sweetness, and then it almost just tails off, and then you're left with that slightly bitter, which is a shame because it starts off really strongly and just
really promising and disappears. Aroma is very, very delicate. Not yet. Even when we opened it from the vacuum, it never really stood out very much. Very creamy, very buttery, but I think taste and texture. Texture is fine. Taste is probably a bit delicate to what I was expecting. The characters look quite nice. Looks very pronounced on the rind. You feel it's going to stand out. But what do you think, Dhruv?
I have no issue with sort of delicate per se, but for me, it's the balance, or the fact that it starts strongly. You get the sweetness, you get that acidity, and actually, the more I taste it, that acidity is building and building. I'm getting more of that acidity, but that means that drop off is actually more pronounced. There's not the length I'd expect from a cheese of that style.
Sure. I mean, I'm happy to give it, I don't know, 6 or 7 across the board, or maybe higher on the appearance, but taste and aroma definitely a 7.
Appearance, I'm quite happy with 8, but I would agree with you at 7s across.
Okay. Happy, Louisa?
Yeah, that's fine. So 8 for appearance and 7 for the other 4.
Aroma, texture, taste. Yeah.
Flavour. Excellent. On to the next one then. So that's 1193.
Yeah. Good firm texture, but very interesting.
It certainly delivers more flavor-wise than it did in terms of its visual.
Absolutely.
To look at it, looks very pale, fairly monochromatic. The smell again was fairly subdued.
Very delicate. Yeah, very, very, But you're right.
But then this flavor, this kind of, it just explodes, and it really. Sorry, were you going to say?
Very caramelly kind of, this kind of sweetness of, almost like caramel sweetness in it.
And then the buttery finish.
Very good. And very different to the first two. Totally different to the first two. And as you said, when I saw it, I thought it was going to be quite lactic, milky, not sure about it. But actually, The texture is lovely, snaps very well. Taste is really good, actually. You could keep eating it. As you say, the previous one.
Keep eating it. It's got that enough of that slight acidity that makes you want to keep going back to it, which cuts through, and that balance between saltiness, acidity, sweetness.
Sweetness is just about right.
I actually looked at that, and I have to say I judged that book by its cover initially, and I put my hands up to it, but I was completely wrong because I think it's delicious, like really delicious.
It is. And I was saying, I agree. I thought, oh my God, it looks too white, too pale, but yeah. I think happy to give a 10 all round for it, or because the appearance, it won't have a rind by the looks of it. It is a block cheddar, so it is what it is. And it looks great.
As a block cheddar, you want that uniformity visually, right? So.
Absolutely, and it looks all nice and clean across. There's nothing untoward, even in the pate in the middle. It's quite nicely pressed. Good.
We've got 3 leading pieces at the moment, so we'll have to come back at the end. The next one we'll move on to is 1194.
So that's 1194. So again, this is like the 1193, building your hopes, giving you
large block.
Yeah.
And now to be honest, this one's I think for me that has got that much more pronounced lactic nose.
Okay. Now, I don't want to judge it by the cover, as you say, but
no, I got that wrong last time. I've learnt from my mistake.
Lovely pate. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but there is a bit of water coming through. Can you see that?
Oh yes, can do. Just on the top. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's called the tears of the cheese. Very rarely you see them, even after maturing it. Sometimes while pressing, everything is not pressed so hard that the moisture is held in, and it's called the tears of the cheese. Often, it's quite interesting.
A little bit more linear than the last one, I think.
Yes, good, but not as it's not as lively as the previous one is.
No. And it doesn't have the depth, I don't think. I mean, it's a good cheese.
It's a good cheese. You're right. Yeah, and
there's no real faults, but it doesn't. I think for me, flavor-wise, it doesn't have quite the complexity.
Agreed. So I'd be happy to give appearance, texture 10/10, but aroma and flavor or taste, I don't know. What do you think? 7 or 8?
I think between 7s and 8s. I think if we do 2 at 7, 1 of 8, I mean, it's
that's fine. But the previous one was completely different to this one. So.
Yeah.
Oh. You happy with that, Louisa?
Yes, we've got appearance, juice carrot 10, and then aroma, texture, and flavour. We've got 2 at 7 and 1 at 8.
8, yeah.
So 2 more to go, and the next one is 1205.
05. Okay. So it looks like it's got some kind of almost reformed kind of. So anything that you see on the top is nothing as an additive on it. It's just the wax when you cut comes through onto the cheese.
Yeah.
But But if you look on it as a cheese, because this is reformed, you can see the compression, and this is where the reshaping can happen very easily. Appearance is fine. Aroma is okay. I think texture is really, really poor. It's very spongy and very, very, very soft. Even just holding it over here, you can just see it goes squish.
Yeah, it just kind of becomes like a paste, doesn't it?
It is paste, very pasty on the palate. If you're looking at a traditional mature cheddar, you want the crunch and the bite on your palate to get it going. But taste-wise, I found it a bit acidic. I don't know what you think of it, Dhruv.
I thought it was very sharp, quite spiky, and the bandwidth for me, flavor-wise, was quite narrow and quite, is in a spike from that acidity. It's sweet and sharp, without real any depth of sort of savory characteristics. But for me, overwhelmingly, what dictates everything for me on this one is the texture, which I kind of find quite unpleasant, actually. You put it into your mouth, and then it just kind of, you could like rub it with your tongue against your palate, and it would just spread around your mouth.
Yeah. It's, as you say, it's very pasty on the palate, and it is kind of almost gives that wrong feeling to the palate, thinking, what are you doing? But I don't know. I'd be happy 5 across the board for it, or am I being too harsh? Yeah, happy.
I'm happy with that.
We can revisit if we need to. Yeah. Okay.
And final one is 1, 2, 2, 1.
One, two, two, one. Okay.
I get quite excited, Tani, when I see a piece of cheese like this.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's one of those.
Beautiful.
You've got all that the smell from that rind.
Yeah,
immediately I start to imagine what that cellar smells like, where these mature.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't know if you have it in yours or not, but you can see these holes over here. And there's a small there's a small dust that's come onto the cheese itself.
Yes.
These are basically the homes for the cheese mites.
See there.
That needs to be hoovered out. So when as a part of maturing, you bring the hoover on and just go and get all those. Extract them, and then they keep coming, and as part of the flavor building maturing process on the cheese. So you know that it's a traditional cheddar, cloth bound, nice, lovely appearance, very
beautiful texture. I mean, if you angle it against the light, it's just so much texturally, visually going on.
Absolutely. Aroma is quite delicate, isn't it? I'm not able to get much.
No.
Wow. Very buttery. Loads of grassy notes coming through, almost becomes pronounced and meaty almost.
There's a meatiness, but there's almost a not quite sulfurous, but there's a burnt, smoky
finish.
But it's kind of not necessarily in a bad way, a kind of slightly burnt rubber, if that makes sense.
Kind of almost a minerally earthy finish to it.
But to me, there does seem to be a slight lack of balance there. It's not sort of held together. There's kind of individual flavor profiles, but they're not bound together in a kind of coherent way for me.
I agree with you. Great cheese, everything, but you're right. That little balance is lost itself in the end. I mean, I would probably give everything a 9 and a taste would be 8 or something like that. I don't know. What do you think? Or am I being too
I mean, I
harsh?
think visually it's beautiful.
10.
I mean, for me, yeah, I'd say visually 10, but
Texture 10 and the rest taste is 9 or 8 maybe.
I mean,
I don't
for me,
know.
I was probably kind of 8 at most on the taste. I was a bit disappointed with that.
I'd go with that.
Excellent. So we've got 3 just to revisit, which was 1081, the first one, and then the second one was 1102, and then the third one is 1193. So these 3 all had full marks.
See, this is where it becomes really tricky, because this is where the subjective and the objective have to come into it, because obviously you could get 3 cheeses which are flawless in terms of 50 pointers, and 3 people would each pick a different one, because then it comes down to the art of the science.
Absolutely. And I think at this stage, I think it eventually comes down to taste. I don't know, what do you think, Drew? Because
I completely agree. You know what it comes down to, Tanny? It comes down to you thinking, I can only have one of these on my board tonight with my glass of wine. Which is it going to be?
True.
I think that's kind of... So we start with 1081?
Yes, that's the first one.
Yeah.
It smells like fudge. Now that it's come up a little bit in temperature, it almost there's like a chocolatey note coming off that aroma-wise.
Yeah. What I would do is try the next one right immediately after that.
Yeah.
This is 1102.
Yeah.
I think 81 supersedes 02 on taste. I may be wrong, but
so would you drop 1102 down to 9 taste then?
Yeah, I'd go 9 on taste maybe.
Yeah.
And the third one was 1119. Oh, sorry. 1193.
1193.
Gosh, if you're gonna ask me what cheese I want on my cheese board tonight, I might have the 1193. I don't know, what do you think?
I think we'll have to fight for it. I'm really genuinely surprised, because if you looked at the 3 of them side by side, and you said pick two for your cheese board, you'd almost certainly discount that one.
Absolutely.
Which shows that I think you can't. I think there is an unspoken snobbery around block cheddar. People kind of this assumption that if you can't see this rinding, it's there for an inferior cheese. But
absolutely,
I think when it comes to eating it, for me, that one delivers probably more than they're all exquisite.
Totally agree.
There's almost a subconscious wanting or willing for these to succeed, but
that's
in
fabulous.
the tasting, I can't deny that that final one, 1193, the one I take.
So 1193, a 10 on a taste.
Yeah.
81, 9 on a taste, and a 9 on a taste, and 02, 8 on a taste. Is that okay?
Yeah.
You're happy with that, Drew?
Happy with that, yes.
Excellent.
Just to clarify, sorry. So 1193 is the winner. Then 1081, you drop in the flavour 9, and on 1102, you drop in the flavour to 8.
Perfect. Yeah.
So in first place, we've got 1193. In second place, it's 1081. And in third place, it's 1102.
Excellent.
Excellent. So thank you very much for all of your hard work and such detailed descriptions of the cheeses. So obviously, as we've just said, it will be 1193, which is going through the finals next week, which will be held on Friday the 7th of May.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.